You gotta love how gardens burst into life in the spring. Today I'll show you the amazing transformation that we saw in our garden this May. Let's go, buddy. We got off to an early start this spring, but even with that head start, our garden looked pretty modest at the beginning of the month compared to what we see here today. Unfortunately, I didn't start this time lapse until May 7th, so I missed the first 6 days of growth in May, which was substantial. At this point, the hoop house was still covered, and we were hardening off tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants inside. The squash and cucumbers we planted early in the garden were also covered by cold frames and a hinged low tunnel. Here I am shooting a video on how we store and set up trellises. On this day, I set up trellises for sugar snap peas. One thing you'll notice is that I spend much more time making videos than actually working in the garden. With spring planting nearly complete, the garden is very low maintenance and there's very little work to do. Most of our harvests aren't seen here because we usually harvest later in the day before dinner when the camera wasn't on. We got a lot of rain in mid-May. After the rain subsided on May 14th, I moved peppers, eggplants, and tomatoes out of the hoop house to harden off in the garden. The next day I removed the cover from the hinged low tunnel where I planted summer crops early. And I made a quick video about how our garden, thanks to compost and mulch, absorbs water like a sponge. On May 16th, I planted out our tomatoes. I also moved peppers and eggplants that were growing in 7-gallon grow bags to the front yard garden. After all the rain, we finally had a few sunny days, and the garden showed its appreciation with rapid growth. May 19th was cool and overcast, leading to more thunderstorms on May 20th and May 21st, followed by another cool overcast day on May 22nd. Fortunately, the last week in May was much warmer and sunnier, and you can see the impact that thunderstorms and warm sunny weather have on the garden. At this point, I pretty much had to remove the cover from the hoop house because it was so hot inside. I kept it on as long as I did to encourage growth of pumpkins and tomatoes that we planted early there. The pumpkins are growing fast, but the tomatoes are still quite small and lagging behind tomatoes we started in the grow room. At some point in late May, I planted pole beans, though I don't see myself doing it on the time lapse. And if you look closely right here, you'll see that I cleared out winter crops that were going to seed and planted sweet potatoes. We'll train the sweet potato vines up the trellises after we're done harvesting sugar snap peas that are currently growing there. One of the highlights of the garden so far is our potatoes, which were planted under cover in March. They were just poking through the soil at the beginning of the month, but they're absolutely thriving now. And as we come to the end of the month, you can really see the impact that warm sunny days are having on the garden. And this is what the garden looked like on May 31st. With the time-lapse moving as slowly as it did, it's hard to appreciate the growth. So once again, this is what the garden looked like on May 7th, and this is what it looked like on May 31st. I hope you enjoyed this look at how our garden transformed over the month of May. If you'd like to see more of these videos showing progress in the garden, please let me know in a comment below. Ready to go inside, Oscar? Let's go, buddy. Let's go. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more videos on how to grow a lot of food on a little land without spending much or working harder than you have to.